Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how to create this little illustration or a journal spread, whichever way you want to call it. So this was quite experimental. I didn't actually visualize this before doing it, so it happened in stages. So to create this you will need, this is not a finished piece, I will show you what I'm going to do with it, but to create this sort of a look, what you need is one of those tear-off palettes. You can buy them from different brands. I'll leave the links below so you can see. And then all you need is quite literally watercolors. Now I use these palettes when I'm mixing different colors and whatnot from the tubes. I just squeeze out a little bit of watercolor into here, and that's how I deal with it. But today I want to show you, for example, you can do the same thing out of your palettes. I'm going to take some of this beautiful what is it called, something iridescent scarab red, I believe, and I'm just going to create kind of these little puddles here and there like so. And then I'm going to take other watercolors. For example, there's this little bit of a pink right here, so I'm going to put that into here and a little bit into there. And let's see, I think I'll go into this one here, which is the Alizarin crimson, and I think a little bit into here, and that's it. This one I will leave as it is. Now while it is wet like that, I'm going to wet this one actually and add a bit more. It needs to be kind of like puddled up or beat it up a little bit for you to be able to do this. So what you're going to do is quite literally just make sure your page is flat, and you're going to turn it over and press it onto the paper like so, and then just have fun with it. You can see that the watercolor is starting to squish out underneath, and just you know, create sort of little patterns here and there until you see that the watercolor has transferred quite nicely onto the page. And then we're just going to lift it like so. So you'll end up with looking something like, you know, an accident, but you could try and turn it into, and look, you still have some leftovers, so you could, in fact, if you wanted to, you could go into here and create a few more, just like that, a few little ones. So the tear-off palette is my good friend. I do use it quite often, but let me now show you what I would do next. So before it dries completely, what I would do, and mind you, here I had blobs of them because they were squeezed out, so they're going to look a little bit different. But in essence, I would just take a wet brush and just kind of touch where the concentrated color is and just let it move out a little bit, and sort of try to think of floral shapes, like round shapes, and that's where you are going with it in essence. And don't use too much water, and that is what we are going to create here. So quite easy, a good way to use a little bit of leftover watercolor and, you know, do something with it and just let your creativity go wild. I love doing that sort of thing. Okay, so here they are, and immediately I'd say they look like poppies or roses, something like that, but I do need to round up this one here. It's not round enough, so something like this is now looking more like a flower. So just go with it. and enjoy the process. So I'm going to dry them now and come back. So then this is what it looks like when it's dried. It's super pretty actually. This time I like it more because obviously the colors here work so beautifully together, and this obviously is a little bit of a contrast, the greens and the reds, but that's what I had on the previous you know, swatches. So basically then I had some leftover gold, and here I dabbed it on, created these lovely patterns and some in the center. You could do the same thing here if you want to, but I think I'm going to leave it quite subtle and pale like it is right now. I particularly love this little center here of the flower, because that's the iridescent rhodonite, was it? No, the iridescent scarab red, and it has that green duochrome to it, so you can hopefully pick up on that. Super pretty, and it does come through quite lightly in the other mixes as well. And also these sort of happy kind of splatters, happy watercolor accidents, they look super pretty. Something as simple you can turn into a flower. So the next thing I would do is I would take my pen and try to I don't know, just draw in kind of stalks, and I'm going to try and put them all into a corner, like they're sort of erupting from the corners and the kind of the flower arrangement. And that's essentially all I'm going to do right here. And then let's see, this one possibly will want to go like that. So they're kind of looking like balloons really at this point. So now let's go and do these little triangles, which I like to add to the flowers. I don't know why, but it's just something that I really like doing. And it sort of is like a, you know, the bottom of the blossom is attached to the little stalk, and I'm trying to think, here we go, this one was connected to this flower, and this one here. So you go smaller as you go down, because these flowers are smaller, so it makes sense that way. And that is that. So again, you could quite literally leave it at that. You could create some centers, but it's the easiest thing ever. So I am currently thinking to just add a few kind of leaves like so. Here and there, not too many, because I quite like the gentle look that I already have going, and I don't want to distract from that. So I'm just going to do that in a few places like so, and just leave it. Basically, it's a very subtle, very pretty kind of layout that you can do literally in minutes. And like I said, if you feel like doing some doodling, by all means go ahead and do it, but I just am so in love with how these flowers came to be just by doing very minimal work to them. And I think I'm going to leave it like that and just adore their beauty and their subtleness. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you soon.